All righty, greetings and welcome back to another Carbines and Cantrips Book Club. Tonight we are starting a new book. It is an anthology from Bayonet Books called Chaos Theory, Biological Bedlam. You should be able to see the cover there on the screen. Edited by your boy Jesse James Fain down there. I believe you also wrote a story in there as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm all the way at the back, so
Nice.
It'll take us a little bit to get to us. But,
Okay. Yeah, me and Ben were talking before we hopped in, with the Christmas season and everything. Maybe we'll read tonight and then take a break for the rest of the month and then pick back up in the new year.
yeah, I mean, however you guys want to play it.
Yeah, I think it's just be easy to be with family, and Tyler's gone tonight because he's doing Christmas stuff, so I figured just pick back up in the new year. But tonight. Oh, and Ben's back, by the way, guys. He missed the gun chat with Walt and Lord of a Shattered Land, but he's back with us. So tonight we are reading Checkpoint Zulu by J.R. Handley, and I believe he the guy that runs Blades and Blasters.
So JR hosts Blades podcast, which I'm on a fair amount. Him and his family. JR's not just JR. JR is a conglomerate. Him and his family run Bayonet Books. So they're
okay.
Yeah, so that's the crew behind it. Him and his lovely family all helped in this process. They run the show. They were kind enough to let me be editor.
Sweet. I didn't know that. That's cool. It's like a collective.
Yeah, so I was actually going to ask. So I pretend I am new to this, which I am kind of new to the anthology world. What's Bayonet Books' whole deal? Like, what's their...
So, Bayonet does mostly anthos. There's only a couple big book authors that they have. JR's one of them, of course. Nathan Petit, who's in here, and then a few others. I may find myself at some point on that illustrious list. I don't know. That'll be up to JR and a couple other people. We'll see how that goes. But mostly they do short fiction. They do anthos. I think it's up to something crazy at this point. If you give me a moment with my internet, I'll tell you. I think it's...
This one's listed as 15 of 16 for their Bayonet Books anthologies.
Yeah, so then I'm editing Cryptid Chronicles. The last day to submit was today. So anybody watching this, if you want to submit a story, a cryptid story, you got about 2 hours.
We're gonna get better hot too.
Yeah. So
we'll watch the stream, and then you have like an hour left to write.
Yeah. But yeah, so just a ton of really cool short fiction. It's mostly action oriented, I would say. There's been some really fun ones, like there's 2 anthos that are Santa as a badass. That was the requirement. So he needed to be some kind of like Viking or special operator or whatever. Edie Skye wrote one where Santa was in her like Monster Hunter dinosaur world and was a monster hunter. Like there's there's been Storming Area 51. There's like 16 or 17 of them. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Is Bayonet who do like the it came from the Trailer Park books or anthos from?
No, that's Three Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Raj. I mean, it seems. I mean, I guess I don't know the nuances, but it seems really similar to like Rack Press. Sort of like
in a way, yeah. It's a smaller outfit. Rack Press has more people on staff.
Oh, okay.
Be the big difference that I would think between the two. And Rack Press likes to do more youth-oriented fiction. This one, aside from Warhamster, is a lot of F-bombs, a lot of violence, a lot of, like, it's my antho, so it's always going to be like that. But,
Nice. That's Checkpoint Zulu. That's the first story. Second story is Freak Silence and Stolen Cookies by Hunter Kay Wallace. And then the third story is the Stitched Throne, or that was a Thorn. I think I misspelled that when I wrote it down. And a Nimble and Scales mystery by Matthew. Oh, you're gonna help me on this last name, Olaranont. Okay, I messed that up.
I honestly, Matthew, I see a lot, and he's been anthos with me and been anthos I published. But we have never had a conversation on how to pronounce that name, and I'm just not going to butcher it.
Well,
so Matthew's going to be Matthew for the sake of this podcast.
maybe call him Mo for MO for his initials. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, good old, Mo's a good dude. I like Mo, but I have no idea how the hell to say that name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we should start with Checkpoint Zulu. I liked it. Basically, looks like JR Collective made a. Is his name J? Is the guy who wrote it or?
JR, yeah. So JR is a person, but it's not just. It depends on if we're talking about the person or the company. The author JR, yes, that's just him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect. He made himself some street sharks. It sounds like kind of. I mean, I don't know if the character can go underground and swim in the dirt like it's water, but close enough. And also Jesse is a character in this one. He's I think a sergeant or staff sergeant. I can't remember.
Yeah, some kind of sergeant. I think it was just sergeant.
Yeah, I think it was Sarge.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not real familiar with this. Is this a fantasy conflict, or this is embarrassing for me to not know, I guess, but is this a real conflict that he made into a story, or is it just he made up?
That's part of the joke. So Krasnovia is a stand-in for any Eastern European, like Soviet bloc country in war games. Mm-hmm. So the United States military, because JR is a vet, and the United States military, whenever you have to pretend, basically it's Russia, you don't say Russia to be politically correct or whatever. They stage all these fighting Krasnovia. And so that was part of the fun, was that he took the fictional conflict and set it in the real life version of that fictional place.
So you say, like, I didn't realize, so like when the army does like war games or drills or whatever, they use Krasnovia as their
that is a and that's a Larry joke too. I don't if you hang out on the forums and stuff like that, or Monster Hunter, the Krasnovian Waffle Hound, and there's even pictures of him all dudded up in like Soviet bloc style winter gear, and there's 800 jokes about that too. But it all stems from that war game exercise.
Okay, well that's funny then. Yeah, so it's a bunch of is it the Army? I think it's the Army. Where's the Marines? I already forgot.
I'm pretty sure it's Army in this one because JR was Army.
Yeah, they're like part of like a UN contingent dealing with Krasnovian. We'll see. There's like insurgents, and then they have also they have local militias or infantry that are trying to like back them up. Anyway, they go to Checkpoint Zulu. They to swap out with whoever from the UN was holding down the fort before them. They get there, no one's there except the place is like covered in feces. It's a wreck. But he can't. I don't remember the main character's name. I should have wrote that down. But he doesn't want to like abandon his post, so he makes his boys. He's a corporal. Basically, fix up this post, and it kind of like deteriorates. Like the situation goes from we're gonna make the best of a crap situation, and then like they're not like eventually they lose contact with like their forward operating base that's like supposed to be supporting them and eventually giving them their relief. They lose contact with them. They start to run low on their food and water. Things aren't looking great. And then one night they're sleeping and gas bombs or, gas grenades get sent in their way, and wakes up in a cell to one of his boys getting murdered. Experimented on.
Yeah. It gets rough fast.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like that was a really effective way to kind of like shoot up the like emotional stakes. In the short story, you don't have a lot of time to mess around. So like the whole time he spent like getting Checkpoint Zulu up to date was kind of like a team building camaraderie thing, and then like immediately goes to the imprisonment. Everyone's dead except for this last guy he hears die, and then he's literally the last living person. So now he has like, I buy into this guy's vendetta or his like sense of wanting to get vengeance against these people, even though it's such a short, period of time we're working with here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he gets chosen next to go get experimented on, and they're going to put bat DNA and shark DNA. And these like Krasnovian scientists who want to make super soldiers to fight the world. Is that right? Are they trying to do global domination kind of thing?
Yeah, the motivation I don't think ever is like spelled out, and I enjoyed it that way. I wanted there to be a little bit of mystery to it, but the motivation basically is to create a super soldier to have an upper hand in any kind of conflict.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some like there's some political motivation. There's some just pure power motivation, and that wonderful little bit of unhingedness, which is kind of really what the Biological Bedlam was always intended to be a reminder of Jurassic Park for now. Now that Jurassic Park is real.
Yeah.
It was meant that it's just stop playing God is kind of the one unifying message of this entire thing. Whether you're laughing and having fun or freaked out because some dude just got brutally murdered, that was kind of the whole thing, was to exercise all the crazy ways that we all saw the future of genetic manipulation. And so this is a very classic, like, Captain America gone wrong kind of thing. Or I guess it would be Winter Soldier gone wrong, considering the countries that were fictional countries that we're talking about.
It's not consensual.
But at one point, he literally calls them he's like, the capitalist pigs.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of motivations behind why this whack job scientist is doing what he's doing, but the whole point is he's doing whack job science.
Yeah, I'm like curious. I don't know if I've ever seen a combo of a bat and a shark. Although, like, what it came out to be was actually pretty sweet.
It's mostly shark, too. I didn't see a lot of bat there.
I think just like the reference to echolocation is all I really saw that was like super batty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, JR and I, it was after the Blasters and Blades podcast one night that we talked about doing this antho.
Mm-hmm.
And he met me not after that and was like, "Hey man, if you were going to use Super Soldier, what animal would you use?" And it took me a minute, and I was like, "Shark." And the reason being is because, like, we don't know how big great whites get. They get to a certain size and they dive down into the abyssal zone, and then maybe we see them once or twice again in their entire lives. So they are recording 20 or something foot sharks, but those are just the ones that come back to the surface.
Yeah.
So you get the size. There's the ampullae of Lorenzini, which is where all the electrical manipulation comes from in the story. That's it's basically in their nose, and they can like detect electrical signals. So sharks pick up not just scent, but like the actual electricity coming off their prey. It's wild. So anyway, total science moment, nerd moment. Sorry, y'all. We can get back to the fun stuff, but
no, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
That's how it came up.
The idea that there's just this dark pit at the bottom of the ocean full of giant great whites, and probably giant squids and other giant things is terrifying.
Well, and that's they probably level up. They probably level up until they get big enough to go eat the fucking krakens at the bottom of the ocean, and then we never see them again because they're. Yeah. Maybe that's why Cthulhu hasn't risen from the waves yet, is the bloody great whites keep coming at him.
Yeah, the Megs are coming.
They're leveling up to get the big North Pacific blob, if you know about that one.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, the North Pacific blog is a large heat signature that's crawling along the bottom of the North Pacific. That thing is it is miles across, but it is moving very slowly, and it avoids terrain, does that kind of thing. Nobody knows exactly what it is. Some people are like, it might be a big bunch of jellyfish-like creatures all kind of working together, but it's way cooler if it is a single giant creature.
Yeah, I mean, swarms are also scary, especially if they're like a hive mind kind of thing. But is it like, have they not seen it? Like sent like a sub with the camera down to try and get a look at this thing, or is it too deep?
It's too deep.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is way deep. So it's super cool, but could also be other bloops. I believe everything. Every terrifying monster story I hear on land, I'm like, maybe. But if it's in the water, if it's an ocean thing, I'm like, yes, definitely.
Yep.
That is 100% plausible. We know so little about the ocean. I believe it.
And there's just like, even the things we do know are crazy. Like there's crazy looking things that we've seen. Like an octopus. I don't even think octopus are actually terrestrial creatures. I think they're aliens.
You know, that is an actual theory, right?
I feel like I've heard that. That's kind of where I got the idea from. But yeah, I think I put my money on their aliens. They're crazy. As a land and sea fan, I didn't know about this warm blob, and that makes me scared. Very terrified.
No, it's
The aliens are here. Galaxy's Edge meets Subnautica. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I mean, if you haven't read RFM 520, if you haven't read Land and Sea, that kind of sounds like Galaxy's Edge meets Subnautica.
It is really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. There was like that one time, I don't know if this is like a shark thing, but like he like sends out electrical pulses and like goes through the rifles and electrocutes the guards like as he's escaping. Is that just like
that
crazy science, or is that like sharks can actually emit pulses?
Well, so that was meant to be kind of like the bat and the shark coming together. So that's meant to be the ability to project is a bat thing, but the sensory itself for electricity is the shark.
Okay, so it's just like a crazy mad science combo.
Yeah,
thing.
and that's I don't think even like I or JR really had a handle on exactly how far these powers would go.
Yeah.
Because a big part of it was this was a short, and so I actually I had a conversation with JR after the story was done, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, I really feel like we just got started. Like it spoiler alert at the end, it's turned into this crazy shark thing, and he burst out and runs off to the lake, and that's where we stop." And I was like, "Hey, man, like, I really feel like we just got running here."
Yeah.
And I would like, I want to know what happens. Like, like I want to like it's.
Yeah, it seemed like it's ready for like serialization.
Yeah. And so now we have our street shark, and we got to figure out what's next. Does he become the hero? Does he become a villain? You know, what do we do there? And I hope JR will get the time to answer that one day, but he's a very busy man and writes full series as well and big books. Him and Jana, who's in here as well, I believe. Yeah, Jana's in here as well. She might be as Jenna Ray, but they're working on a series together. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope he comes back to it. I would like for him to.
Yeah, maybe
clearly the shark becomes a monk and goes to the plane of water. And,
it's a prequel,
and then we know what happens after that. That's where all of it is. I actually like it leaving where it is because it's one of those things where just having a bunch of questions at the end of it is actually good. You don't know where it is, but I don't feel like it needed it for that story. I think it ended pretty well. Like a lot of short stories, you want to have a question at the end. You know, you don't want to wrap everything up. You can't wrap everything up. So I thought it ended on a good note.
Yeah, I think he wrapped up his like immediate need for revenge. Like he killed the doctor, ripped his throat out, killed a bunch of guards. Very satisfying escape for someone who just watched his whole squad get tortured, experimented on, and killed. And then he ends up being the one that the serum takes to, and he wakes up super jacked with shark skin. And then each time he feeds, which this was a really cool feature. I want to make sure I mention that. Every time he eats after he wakes up in shark mode, he feels way better. And I mean eating, ripping people's bodies apart and eating their flesh and organs. And it sounds like his body transforms more. He kind of comes into his powers more. Kind of like Skyrim when you're the werewolf and you eat people and
heal.
Extend your stuff and heals you. But yeah, he got, and then he not only did he kill all those people, but then he messed with all the reactors. Basically, this place is having a nuclear meltdown. It was a nuclear powered site, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think I remember reading that
he speculated that it was. I think he just moved on after that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, like I said, there's a lot of details in this one that are mysterious.
Yeah. But it definitely is open for more because, when he goes and gets that doctor, right before he kills them, the doctor's like, I already backed up everything and sent everything out. So, a bunch of our facilities are already going to start replicating you, basically. So, there's this opportunity for him to go and kill the other versions of himself, or, not himself, but people like him, and get payback. But also, is he going to go crazy? And is he going to have to fight this animal side to him? Because the more he eats, is he going to lose his humanity and that's more of the beast?
Yeah, and that was the big question for me is is he going to be able to maintain some semblance of civility, some semblance of, or is he just a serial killer in the lake?
Yeah. I mean, he seemed to really enjoy everything after he woke up. He liked being super jacked, like Arnold style. He kind of embraced the powers and got his revenge. So, maybe he likes it.
I don't blame him, man. If that's, I mean, you're stuck with it anyway. You might as well have fun.
Yeah, I always wonder, if you get cursed with something, if you became a vampire or a werewolf or some kind of monster that made you super powerful, would you really hate it, or would you be like, this is friggin' awesome?
Well, it's the thing for me, and the joke I always make is there's plenty of dudes that could stand to be eaten. So it wouldn't bother me too much as long as I could find. You know what I mean?
Like the Dexter Morgan of monsters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I got to eat somebody once a week, then I'm just going to be real picky about it, and I'll be able to find plenty of people that I'm not going to feel bad.
Yeah. It's like that. One of my favorite parts of the Edward Norton Hulk is towards the end when Abomination is rampaging and he's like, I can't control the Hulk, but maybe I can aim it. And I was like, that's perfect. Yeah, just aim it at bad stuff. Keep it inside until it needs to come out. And tell everybody to get the hell out of the way, and aim it towards a threat.
Couple things in the chat. RFM, Jordan's working on several series. The story he has in here that will go full Punisher, but shark. Absolutely. That'd be my pick if I got turned into a vampire, would be that style. Jordan's working on several series, including the short story in here actually starts a whole new universe for him. He's already said that he's planning on doing lots of cool stuff. So that'll be cool when we get to his story. Walt said, I thought being a Blade Runner would have been a viable career choice by now. Yeah, we're wasn't 2019?
I think it's 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, we're already supposed to have it going on here. Man, I don't want to have to worry about replicants on top of everything. That's getting rough.
I mean, I feel like 2019 LA maybe 2020 LA looked a little worse than Blade Runner LA, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mallory said, I usually feel better after that too. I'm assuming you're talking about
food,
eating people.
Yeah, she was talking about eating. She does get a little hangry at times.
Who doesn't? My wife's like that too. I call it her grunchies.
Her grunchies.
Her grumpy munchies.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah, this is a fun story, dude. It just was street shark in the military. I hope that he does learn how to swim in concrete, because that would be freaking rad. But whatever. If he doesn't, I understand. Got to keep it a little bit believable, I suppose.
Yeah, I asked JR to come on tonight, but he had family stuff going on. He wasn't able to make it, so
yeah,
I was sad about
it. Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. I'd be, even if he doesn't serialize this, maybe he could turn it into like a novella or something, or a full-on novel. Who knows?
Yeah,
or an audio
I'll
drama.
keep bugging him.
Oh, Mallory says, "Don't you dare, honey." Yeah, I think that's Checkpoint Zulu. I don't know. I think that's all I got for it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Fun little military weird science experimenting on POWs. We get payback.
Who doesn't like experimenting on POWs? A classic since World War One.
Exactly. Probably longer, honestly. I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Freak. Okay, so the next one is or Ben, did you have anything else for this one?
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah, it was pretty simple, isn't it? Now the next one was kind of interesting. It was a little confusing as to whether or not we were supposed to be attracted to the frog women.
Yeah, they're strangely attractive.
It didn't work for me, but I guess it might have worked for somebody.
Yeah, this one's called Freak Science and Stolen Cookies by Hunter Kay Wallace. So it basically starts off with this Humvee of amphibian. I don't want to say they're mutants. It sounds like they were experimented on when they were in the womb or in vitro, and so they've never been fully human, as far as I can tell. And they're at this point in this lore, it's only females who have gone through this experimentation, and it's like a squad of female amphibian alien hunting ladies. So like the main girl, her name is Butte, which is like short for butane. I guess she's like the firecracker one. There's like Ice. Each one's got like different, like a specialty as far as like the periodic table goes, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like their whole gig is they go and they hunt these little alien monsters. I guess there's a colony on the moon, and these aliens landed on the moon. And so like rich people will take the aliens and make them into pets. It's all like pythons and iguanas in Florida. Like these people buy these pets and they're really irresponsible. They let their pets get out and become an invasive species, and it's a big disaster. Except these are like roly-poly nightmare potato bug aliens that lay a whole buttload of eggs. They burrow deep, and the big thing for them, it sounds like, is they piss and shit everywhere, and it's so
ecological damage.
Yeah, it does, like it ruins the pH of the soil, and it can like kill entire forests and stuff. Basically these frog ladies, they pull up in a Humvee, like in a suburb, like an apartment complex, like smash into a dumpster right out of the gate. This is a very like funny story. It's not serious. It's just funny, actiony. Like there's this whole big portion of the story gets dedicated to like two of the team members fighting over stealing each other's cookies and then like remaking the cookies. So it's a fun one. It's got like cool action, but it's also kind of campy, I guess. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's fun.
So Hunter writes for a very different audience than like JR and I do. And so I was really surprised when she was like, yeah, I'm going to submit. And I was like, wow, that's really out of like, she generally caters to a female audience. There's not a lot of language. I'm sure you noticed in the story, like it's everything censored because that's like her kind of style.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sass, a lot of attitude in this one. That's a lot of fun. And so when I was putting the antho together, after Checkpoint Zulu was so blood, guts, and revenge, and like dudes getting eaten by a were shark, Batman, man, bear, pig.
That's the three. You got the man and the two animals.
Yeah. So I thought it fit really well. And I thought the story, despite being a little bit more feel good, a little bit more like sassy and everything like that. It was fun. So it went.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the well, I mean, I guess the lore, yeah, like so they go to this unit or this house, like there's like a dead rose bush over a tiny hole in the ground. Not so tiny, like big enough for them to get in as, short 5 foot something females. Which is something they explain. I guess they're pretty much bred specifically to hunt these aliens. And that's why men haven't been chosen yet to do this, is because like they need to be small enough to get into these burrows, these tunnels these aliens make. And so yeah, they go and they like start crawling down this alien tunnel, and this is the main character's like first time as squad, or not first time, it's just her turn to be the leader of the platoon. She's super worried about getting a promotion, so she seems like she kind of takes it a little more serious than the rest of her team. Like the person whose cookies she stole seems like she might be kind of flighty if it's not on the right. The situation turns against her, which I guess we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, once they go down there, the aliens are super cool. I like there's like eggs everywhere, and the idea of like they can walk around and the aliens won't sense vibration, but if they start like digging too much, or if they obviously start killing the egg sacs, then they call them the mothers are going to show up, and they're basically like big bowling ball. I was just picturing like potato bugs, where they can roll up and basically roll at you really fast, and they climb, and they have little like digits, like little nubs that wiggle out, and they can retract them and climb up your body and start trying to melt your face off.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Yeah,
I loved the aliens on this one. I loved how legit weird they were.
Yeah,
how weirdly they were like the least threatening aliens.
Yeah.
The whole deal was they were very, very tough and hard to kill. Incredibly well armored, bulletproof, even in their soft inner roly-poly side. And they were, they were incredibly dangerous. They replicated all over the place, but they were basically, beyond that, they were not intentional fighters. Mostly, they had some pheromone-based conversations, and they could coordinate a little bit, but they just roll at you and bonk you.
Yeah.
Like
roly police. Acid roly police.
To you.
I mean, they're like death tribbles. They were great.
Yeah.
I thought they were genuinely that was genuinely my favorite part of the story. I loved those aliens.
Yeah. I feel like the stuff that they excrete, I think they probably would hurt a regular human, but since these frog ladies are all, frogged out, their skin can hack it.
Yeah.
And in fact, their own skin produces like, chemicals that can counteract the roly-polies. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was Alien Be Gone. So basically they have like spray gun. They don't have guns, they have like spray guns. And that's what
it basically had like household spray bottles.
Yeah, like Raid.
But it was loaded with a special pH level to deal with the acid critters.
Yeah. What was funny is that's like pick them up and like tickle them to get them like to pry open their bellies so they get this the soft underbelly exposed. The
underbelly.
RFM 520 said, or Coobs, as the Legion would say, yeah, they're pretty Cooby. I don't know if they have like the big neck sacks like I picture the Coobs having, but yeah, frog people. I don't know if they're like, I think they probably still look like women, just with weird skin and like spots, and apparently they have like armpit flaps for gliding around, which is funny. But yeah, I thought the Alien Be Gone reminded me a lot of Skin So Soft. I keep making Land and Sea. I feel like Land and Sea is going to connect a lot with these stories. But in the Land and Sea, they have like Skin So Soft that you like spray on yourself. And then when the goblin swarms come at you, it kind of, I guess, repels them. But just a funny little like chemical to kill these monstrous creatures. But yeah, the whole spelunking excursion into the underground tunnels was... Yeah, it was funny, but like interesting action. The aliens were, oddly like dangerous yet not dangerous. It was just funny. And then like, so they get the first one, obviously they kill it and they kill a bunch of eggs, but then like a whole mess of these things come pouring out of this like hidden tunnel. And Butte gets like swarmed by them. And there's like a moment where she thinks Ice is going to just like leave her. Cause again, that's like her character flaw. That she like might just retreat and leave you abandoned, especially after finding out that she ate her cookies. One kind of good way to leave someone high and dry after that kind of betrayal. but yeah, I don't know. Really funny. I guess I'm hogging the mic. What else did you guys like about this one?
I did like that it wasn't sort of explicit, but they're clearly all deranged. Like it's
Yeah.
clear all of the all of the frog ladies are actually insane. They genuinely, all of them have some sort of bizarre insanity, and they're not quite with it. That's really funny. That's genuinely funny.
Yeah, I'm wondering if are they insane, because it sounds like they lived their whole lives like in this laboratory, and they're like specifically designed for this purpose of hunting escaped alien pets. So I wonder, is it just like they're super sheltered and they have such a weird existence that they're sane for their lifestyle, but like, you know, obviously they're not acclimated to regular culture and society.
Yeah, the dysfunction was part of the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
The constant, we're in the middle of something that's potentially life threatening, but we're going to bicker with each other about nonsense and like stolen lipstick and, you know, you ate my cookies. And no, it there's a lot of things in this story that I don't normally like. And I know that sounds like a crazy way to like talk about something that I accepted and put into the antho, but Hunter made it work so well because there's the bickering and the odd quirks, and the, like Ben said, like no character in this story is really mentally connected all the way. Everybody's missing a screw or two. And the first person fits because of that wackiness, because of the screw, the first person present, where like the way the story's told, and you get these constant commentary from your narrator, who is one of these screw loose frog chicks. It's a fun, like this is the most fun, just classic, like nobody's freaking out, nobody's on fire, no one's getting shot, nobody's being mauled to death. Like it's just a straight fun story, and it might be the only one of its kind in the antho, to be honest.
Well, she was getting mauled, but yeah, it definitely wasn't to death. It was more like she was getting tickled with little nubby tentacles.
Yeah.
And getting excreted on. I also really like the so it's only females right now through this program, but there are like the first class of male frogmen coming through, and like all the females except for Butte, all the froggers except for Butte want to basically bang these frogmen because they've, you know, it's just been the girls their whole existence, so they're excited. But yeah, she seems way more, Butte, main character, seems way more interested in getting that promotion and really dreads the idea of being chained to a desk. She likes the idea of adventure, but then she has a little bit of like moral quandary and questions like, oh, like is it kind of effed up that I'm sitting here peeling these alien life forms that came across the galaxy and just murdering them and all their babies and stuff. And she doesn't steal the lipstick because she, you know, felt bad about it. Kind of thing. So it's like a little funny characterization tool she used there.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's see here. I'm not familiar with this series that RFM's talking about. There was a book in the Galaxy of Terror series that had similar frog people, but they're more Innsmouth creepy than crazy. I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, I mean, you know, frog people can be real creepy, dude. They got big mouths, they can swallow you. You know, like the bullywugs in D&D. That's a good monster right there, dude. Highly adaptable creatures.
I can imagine being eaten by something with no teeth.
I know.
Like how, because like the whole process has just got to take way longer.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting gum flapped to death. And that's a mess.
Just like a tight squeeze and slimy, and eventually you hit the acid parts that start to melt you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not.
What's that? I think the movie. I think is it Event Horizon? No, there's this one where like, it's like a ship. They go on a ship and there's this crazy monster. I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyway, this guy gets like eaten by it, and then like they come into this part of the ship, and like it's this intestine looking thing, and they like shoot it, and then the guy falls out, and his skin's like half, like you can see his bones and his skeleton and stuff. I wish I remember the name of the movie because it's driving me crazy now. But does that sound familiar to you guys at all?
Sorry, that's not from that.
I feel like I've seen it, but yeah.
It's not Event Horizon. Definitely not. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. And this kind of ends with another kind of like Checkpoint Zulu, where I feel like they were about to go do something else, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
So, do you know, is she planning on serializing this, or is it going to turn into something bigger?
She has not.
Deep Rising. That's correct. That's what it's called.
Ah, that's the movie. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunter hasn't said. As far as this, I think she had a lot of. If we ever wrap around round 2, I'd invite her to throw another one out there. But it's the problem is, and I do this all the time too, is that when you do a short story like this and you're like, oh, that would make a good novel. Oh, that would make a good novel. Oh, that would make a good novel. I've already got novels. I already got novels to write. So it's like, it's like I'm already 4 novels that I need to write deep, and I keep writing short stories, and I keep coming up with new ideas, and I'm never going to get anything done. So that's the struggle always, is like, yeah, I could keep going with this. This would be a lot of fun, but there's the stacks already. We all got stuff to do.
Yeah. You just let the reader, that's good about the open-ended ending, is the reader can just fill in the blanks as they think about the story later on. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this one. It was just a fun read, dude. Silliness.
Nothing wrong with just having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The aliens with like them being a threat but not being a threat. Just like the way they look, their little nubs killed me, dude. Their little nub arms that they could have trapped in. So funny, dude. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, so the last one is this one was my favorite one. I wasn't actually expecting like a fantasy story in this antho. I thought it was only kind of like in this world with just weird science, but this was my favorite story so far. I love this one. The Stitched Thorne, a Nimble and Scales Mystery by Mo, by our boy Mo.
Good old Mo, Matthew. Yeah.
Good old Matthew. Yeah, dude. So it's like a gnome and dragonborn detective pair. Has like a real noir vibe in this fantasy city. It's not like, I feel like it has like a little bit of like a modern vibe to it, because I think they have like someone wearing a fedora or like a trench coat.
Yeah, I would call it I call it urban fantasy, or some people use gas lamp when it's in this time frame.
Yeah.
It's in like it's like an industrial age kind of fantasy.
Yeah, like they have like horseless cabs or whatever.
Yeah, and this was another one that it's not the same kind of fun, but it's a really fun story, and it's funny because like Hunter, who wrote the last one, was reading through our early reader copy, our art copy, and read this story and just had like loved it. Like this was a lot of people attached to this one, especially early in the antho. It's another one that manages to keep the tone lighter. And there's a big benefit to that. Like there's a lot of like horror elements mixed in here as Nimble and Scales go to figure out like who threw the guts up all over the street, which is a hell of a mystery to have.
Yeah, dude, I loved when they went to the eccentric Professor Rabbit, the hair man.
Yeah,
dude, that guy was a funny character. I really liked him.
Dude's a nutball. That's one of the wackiest characters in the antho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some definite Redwall hair in him. There was clearly somebody who enjoyed Redwall. The whole book, you say setting was modern. It's because the setting is D&D 5e. It is 100% 5th edition D&D, which has a very modern viewpoint to a lot of it, and has all the races bumbling together. There's all the urban things. It very much felt like that. I liked it because the villain was. I've done that as well. The villain was the fact that the horror of something that has magical healing powers, and if you have magical healing powers, in that you can do almost anything to somebody and bring them back to full health,
Mm-hmm.
then you can do all kinds of horrific. You can do all kinds of horrific experimentation and horrific building on them. That's one of the game worlds I've actually played in. That was how ogres came about. It was a healer who was incredibly good at healing, who decided he was going to make his perfect warriors by breaking bones and setting them wider and wider and wider, and like stretching basically people out and using his incredible healing to just keep them together and alive. And that's the same kind of horror that this one had.
Yeah.
I very much recognized it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their back and forth between Nimble and Scales, which when they met the female professor, did they say, maybe I misread it, but I could have sworn like he introduced themselves, and I feel like the dwarf was like, yeah, I'm Scales and he's Nimble. Did I read that wrong, or did he like introduce them like that?
I'd have to go back and look.
I don't know if he was joking or like he was just like messing with her.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke that was done, and it was a pretty funny one too.
Yeah. I was like, did I misread that, or no? I think that was just a joke. Yeah. Our fam said Garrett P.I. by Glenn Cook is a detective in a fantasy world. I haven't read a Glenn Cook book yet, but hopefully we do Black Company here pretty soon. Versus Dresden Files, where it's a wizard set in the world. Yeah. It's on my list to read Dresden. I got to get that done.
I can't believe you haven't read Dresden. Seriously.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, I started taking reading way more seriously when I started this channel because, like I said, I've spent way too much time as a kid reading Harry Potter, and I wish I could go back and cane myself across the shin bones, but I can't do that. So I just can make up for it now. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, their adventure is funny. Like, what's his name? The Earl or the Dragonborn guy, Scales. He's like obviously huge, strong, but kind of like a calm demeanor, level-headed. It seems like Garrett, or not Garrett. I'm looking at Garrett in the chat. I forgot the gnome's name. Nimble might be the little more sly detective side of their team. He has like the contacts with like the weird professor, and it seems like he's always kind of making the plans, and Scales is kind of going along with him, keeping him safe, working together. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Nimble is a little bit maybe the leader of the duo, which is funny because he's so small. But yeah, it had a real cool like noir vibe, I think. And maybe I don't know noir very well, but that's how it struck me.
No, it's meant to be. There's meant to be a little bit of that feel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a full noir story, but it's meant to have. The problem is noir stories often, they were detective stories so often that those features, anytime you see that classic detective, you like, but at the same time, like nobody would call Sherlock Holmes noir.
Yeah.
Like, so it's there's a little bit of that here. I don't think there's a lot. I think we'd have a really kind of a different story structure.
Yeah.
We'd have more of a femme fatale. We'd have more of a hard. I don't think we'd have a team. It'd probably be just one more hard-boiled detective, like one hard-nosed guy. But
yeah.
Anyway,
maybe
that's definitely meant to be. Yeah, that's meant to be more of the feel. Well, and there's some brutality here, I would say, especially when we finally get to the fight with the Baron, and I don't know. I guess we should probably cover, if we do our standard recap of what happens before we start talking about the Baron.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it starts off with some guards heard a woman screaming. She's being attacked by this huge monster. The guards scared it off. Before it ran off, it puked its organs all over the place. And so when Nimble and Scales show up, they learn about the woman, and the guard tells them that she's at the hospital. Which that right out of the gate kind of gave me like a more like modern-y vibe. She's at the hospital. They scoop up the organs in one of the guards' helmets because they want.
That's gotta smell.
Yeah, they want to take the samples to the professor, Rabbit Man that Nimble knows. So they get in a horseless cab. Another great. I just like all the little details that are put in here. But they go to the nice part of town. Which I really like, the different, like taking the cabs to different places in the town. It kind of describes the different areas, gives a vibe. It reminds me of like a detective TV show episode where they see the crime and then they follow each lead, get the information they can, and they go on to the next lead, and either pans out or takes them in some other direction, as a detective story does. But yeah, I just like how it kind of unfolded this like fantasy city, and he even like sprinkles in like lore that doesn't really have anything to do with this story. Like I can't remember what it was, but like some kind of old battle that it kind of comes up a couple times, which we don't learn anything about it, which is totally fine. It's just like cool flavor for this world, which I liked. But yeah, they go to the doctor. He's a weird rabbit professor who inherited a mansion from his uncle or something. And yeah, he goes and takes a look at the helmet full of organs and is like, well, it's like a human organ. There's like an ursine organ, I'm guessing is a bear person. I think there was like some dragonborn. There was like a pyro gland, I think. Just a whole bunch of different organs from different species, but they were like connected, meaning that they were like functioning together inside a creature, which we would assume is the giant monster that was attacking the lady. And so that's basically all they learned from the professor. They leave him to go talk to the lady who was attacked at the hospital. She's not there. They get the info that she is at the magic college. She's an alchemist. So they go there. They see like a big plume of smoke coming out a window, so they rush up there. She's like burning notes and stuff when they come into her office, and they stop her. Basically, she was burning the notes because she didn't want anyone else to figure out how to do it. She remembers how to make this potions. Okay, anyway, the person who attacked her, the monster, was actually like a noble, a baron, who wanted to live forever. And so he came to this alchemist to get like elixir of youth or whatever. But she wasn't having that much luck, and he went and got a government-sanctioned necromancer who apparently doesn't really operate within the confines of the law, and started putting a bunch of organs from all kinds of different creatures inside this guy. And then she had to like keep making different concoctions to like make those work. But the combined like magic of her alchemy and the necromancer's organ magic worked on him, in that he was like on his deathbed, and now he's like super strong, but he's also a freaky looking mutant. It kind of sounds like the Jekyll and Hyde guy from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but the one that takes like way too much of the serum and like turns into a freak and beats the crap out of Mr. Hyde. So she's like, he's gonna come for me. He needs more of the potion. So that's why she's destroying all the notes. She doesn't want to keep helping this guy. And they're like, okay, we'll keep you safe, and we'll go take care of this guy. And she's like, no, I got to give you some of this decanter potion or whatever, so that you can like nullify his strength and whatnot. So she brews up a potion for them to use against the monster. They go to the it's like a warehouse that this guy's supposed to be at. They do find him, and he's in there with his necromancer. He's super obsessed with perfection, and even though he looks like a freak, he's like so powerful that he feels that he's perfected. So he wants to keep it going, but the necromancer's like, oh, I think we've kind of crossed the line here, even for me. And he's like, well, all I need is your hands. So he rips the necromancer's hands off, his arms off. Somehow he's going to graft them on himself, and then he's just magically going to have the necromancer's knowledge because he's got his hands attached to his body. Oh yeah, he's also got like a lizard arm attached to his back, coming out of his back.
Yeah, it was. Matthew really nailed the whole like lunatics trying to play God feel at the end of this one. Like the Baron is just absolutely out of his gourd and wants to be a god. He yells at literally yells mortals, like foolish mortals, at everybody, and has all these like extra organs and attachments, and
it's like a chimera.
Brutally powerful chimera-esque thing. He's not really human anymore.
Yeah.
And it really hammers the like delusions of grandeur kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I like monsters where they're like villains that like sacrifice their humanity for immortality, strength, or whatever, and they get this like obsession that they're perfect, like they're obsessed with themselves, and like nobody's better than them, but really they're these super, even like inwardly and outwardly, they're just hideous creatures. I love that trope, I guess. Rad. I also love Scales because that fight, he's a badass. I feel like he's using his breath weapon way too many times in a 24-hour period, but that's just the DMME calling BS.
It's 3.0/3.5 rules where you recover a D4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, his breath weapon was sweet.
Yeah, it was like Dragon's breath weapons were like every 1d4 rounds you could do it, so you might roll and be able to like recover it in just one round.
Bro, I gotta play that edition. That sounds way cooler than just because that doesn't even make sense to me. Like as just like side tangent,
Dude.
but like the fact that you can only like you're a naturally born dragon person who can only breathe your breath weapon once a day. Like
if we got into the superiority of 3.5 or 3 or Pathfinder, we'd be here. We've already been here now, or we'd be here all night. I'm sure Ben. I'm sure Ben is with me.
Oh,
on this.
Easily. This man has taken the builds. He knows how to build his character. That's why he gave his dragon dude a monocle and a top hat. You know, that's he has everything.
Yeah, cool fight scene though. Scales is a badass. The Dragonborn, and I feel like he said like the Dragonborn seemed to like live longer than humans because the lady made it sound, the professor was like, yeah, he's 80 years old, he's ancient, and they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, for humans that's ancient. So I don't know. In 5e, I feel like Dragonborns don't live that long, but I don't know what the if he's super strict to like what edition, if he's even writing to like fit to an edition or not.
Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah. I don't think it doesn't have to necessarily be exactly there just to be the basic idea.
Yeah. I did like the warehouse had a really cool, like, you know, creepy surgical suite vibe to it, you know, a dark, dirty warehouse with surgical tables and bloody tools everywhere. Yeah, good vibe.
Good setting right villain's lair.
Yeah. Where you would expect to find a mutated freak Hulk with extra limbs and different glands that lets it spew acid and spew fire. And yeah, okay, so yeah, then the fight, like Scales is doing his best, but he's losing ground, but he's holding his own for as best he can. That was loud. That got me. So meanwhile, Nimble's like running around trying to find a way to help him out. So he like puts his he smashed his decanter. So when they like jumped down to go land on top of this dude after he ripped his necromancer's arms off. And when Nimble landed, he crushed his decanter of magical elixir, so he couldn't use it. So he gets Scales tosses his to Nimble, and Nimble throws it into the dude's mouth, and he like swallows the fluid, but doesn't seem to have enough effect. So then he even gets in the brawl. I love Nimble. He's so cool. He goes in and like shoulder checks this giant mutant's knee.
Kneecaps him.
Yeah, and then what does he do? I don't know if he gets knocked, but I think he just runs back, and it still seems like it's not doing enough. So then he finds like this big canister of flammable liquid, and pops the top and rolls it, and then Scales like, I think he does like a smoke screen with his breath instead of breathing fire. He does like a smoke screen to blind the mutant. Jumps over the rolling barrel as it's headed towards the bad guy, and then does a little fire breath on it. Big explosion, but doesn't seem to kill him. But then the lady shows up because she was supposed to be waiting for the signal. Obviously, the big explosion was the signal, and she comes up and like double fists two decanters into the monster's mouth, and that kind of finishes it off like this glowing spike of orange light like erupts out of its chest, and it melts down. There is he does like a super cliche like detective show joke at the very end, and like it's like noticeably like on purpose because the characters like both look at him like, what the hell was that? I want to look it up now. It was funny.
Yeah, no, I like the cliche. It's a good thing to end with a cliche if you're going to be leaning heavily into the noir feel, or maybe not noir, but the detective feel.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he basically his chest erupts with fire, and then at the end, Griffith's like, "Talk about heartburn,"
Heartburn.
and it
Yep.
says the other two looked at him blankly.
I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
No, that was perfect.
Let's see here. You guys are having a little D&D. Let's see here. Kinda. You said the nice thing about setting in our world, but with magic primary, is that your world building is automatically known. Yeah, the downside, your world is automatically known.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like for me, I think the one I read the most of that's like super fantastical that's in our world is Monster Hunter. But like I don't know, there are certain things like I think you can play a lot with stuff like that, like like the MCB and like Decision. Like I'm on I just finished Legion, so like Decision Day and Project Nemesis. Like Decision Day, obviously it goes back to like the Manhattan Project and stuff, so that you can like tweak things as long as they're like top secret, or like not like part of our world's lore, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
I think that there's a fun that's one of the fun things about fantasy, is that you can decide how much of reality you want to inject.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we're talking about he brings up another series and it's like, oh, it's a fantasy series but with planes and computers. Well, like Servants of War is World War One.
Yeah.
Level tech, and there's the way that magic has influenced tech, and that's one I have a blast with. Like my secondary novel project right now is a fantasy western, and it's not Weird West, because Weird West has this like expectation of horror elements and things like go west, young man, but there's magic in your pocket kind of deal. It is a fantasy western, and so when we talk about like setting primary versus secondary world or anything like that, your tone matters as much, and the small decisions can matter as much as anything else does.
Yeah, my son's been super into my 11-year-old loves the Westfield Leviathan series, where it's World War One, but with one side has airships, mechanical airships. The other side has biologically like sky whales they've used. So the Allies are sky whales. He was dismayed and disgusted to figure out that this is the same one who made the Uglies series. He was like, I don't want to read about girls. But he loved the Leviathan thing because it's the same kind of thing. Just it's our world, but with this bit and a different history. I can recommend that as a middle grade novel, by the way. The Leviathan, Behemoth, and Goliath. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Westfield. Wrote them down. And then RFM said Red Rabbit is a good example of Western fantasy-esque. I've never heard of it, but worth checking out. Are you guys familiar with that one?
No, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I always end up, because like Larry's my favorite author, and he just is. So like I always end up going on like a side tangent in any of these streams about him. But like Servants of War, I tried so hard to find another book that's kind of in that World War One fantasy, because I absolutely loved that setting and the lore and the magic and that's like a pretty friggin' dark setting. But yeah, I just like the vibe and the tone of that book.
Well, and one of the things that I ended up doing, and this was kind of on accident because I was really more worried about pacing. The book gets darker as we go. So the moral quandaries and the questions get heavier as we go. So the first couple, like, don't get me wrong, Checkpoint Zulu off with the action because I feel like that's how you hook people. That's always been my, somebody generally, if I write a story, someone generally gets shot in the first paragraph. Like it's, so, but all that being said, as this antho goes on, we're going to get deeper into what does it mean? How does humanity handle this capability? was the right decision made? What even wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are going to start hitting harder and harder, and the tone's going to get a lot darker.
Yeah.
Right, man.
I don't know. It's called chaos theory. Whenever I think of stories like this, I always think of Jeff Goldblum. In his speech about you didn't earn it. You stood on the shoulders of giants. You didn't. I can't remember what it is, but you were so busy thinking if you could do it, you didn't think if you should do it. I just love that whole sequence with him. Is such a good part of that movie.
Yeah. So if I know everybody skips the foreword because they're always boring, but my foreword's only about a page and a half, and it literally directly references those things. That was so. Jurassic Park. I was 3. It was one of my favorite movies ever.
Hell yeah!
And I was a huge dinosaur fanatic.
Yeah.
And to this day, there's rarely a day that goes by that I don't think damn, but if we had dinosaurs, it's just one of those. My son's the exact same way. And so there was a lot of inspiration from that love of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, and my son's love for it too. My story, Apex, all the way at the back, is dedicated to him. So it's what I'm trying to say with that is that you're picking up on all those themes. It is literally, the book is that theme of you try to play God, humans can't play God. And life finds a way. You were too occupied with whether you could to stop and think if you should. All those themes are in here. It is Jurassic Park. It is Frankenstein, Bioshock. That's what this anthos meant to capture.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm right there with you, man. I used to dig in my backyard hoping I would find dinosaur bones in my backyard. I loved it. I'd go to the library and get dinosaur movies that were just documentaries or whatever, educational things. I just wanted to see more dinosaurs, dude. And these would be in the 90s. I couldn't tell you what the name of. I could probably find it on Disney Plus now. But there was this movie where this kid has this little batch of small dinosaurs, baby dinosaurs, a T-Rex and a Triceratops, and I can't remember why he has them or what. I just remember there was a movie with a kid and he gets his own little baby dinosaurs, and I watched the shit out of that when I was a kid. I don't remember it now, but I loved it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen it or not. If that's
there were a couple that were like that.
And of course, Land Before Time, which would just give you childhood trauma.
Land Before Time, Dink and Denver were 2 different sorts, dinosaur series. Denver, the Last Dinosaur. There's I'm liking it so far, dude. It's fun.
Yep, me too.
As Steve Buscemi says in Spy Kids 2, do you think God lives in heaven because he's too lives in fear of what he's created here on earth? That's a cold ass line from a kids movie, dude.
I mean, it's ridiculously silly, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi is just perfectly hilarious when he delivers it.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, do you have anything else you guys wanted to add for this three stories?
No. Merry Christmas to all those watching.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever the holidays are out there.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll take a break for the rest of the year and just pick back up whatever the first Monday is after New Year's.
I was a huge Dinotopia fan. Arvin throwing Dinotopia out there.
Yeah,
I read the fire out of all of those. So there were only 3 when I was a kid, and it's 6 now. So.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'll see you. See you next year.
Awesome. See you guys in a year. Take care.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
See you.